They watched her like they were already planning the eulogy. Lieutenant Eva Rios stood alone on the observation deck, her silhouette framed against reinforced glass. Below her, the chamber pulsed with sterile blue light. The creature sat at the center, motionless, enormous, coiled like a breathing mountain of flesh and bone. It didn't move. Didn't blink. "You step in there, Rios, we're not pulling you out." Commander Harrow's voice scraped the silence. He didn't expect her to come back. None of them did. "I read the brief," she said calmly. "No backups. No rescue. No protocols." "Good," Harrow grunted. "Then you won't waste time screaming." A hiss punctuated his words. The chamber door unsealed with a low, mechanical groan. One step, then another. She entered hell without hesitation. The seal closed behind her. And everything changed. No guards. No weapons. Just her and the beast. It watched. Not like an animal. No, like a man. The silence pressed in like gravity. Varka towered at the far end of the cell, seated cross-legged, shackled only by caution. His flesh was a patchwork of scars and sleek armor-like plates. Glowing etchings ran across his chest, Kari bioengineered sigils that pulsed faintly, like an alien heartbeat. He had no collar, no leash, no sedation. Because nothing could hold him. And yet he hadn't moved. Not since she entered. Eva exhaled slowly, lowering herself to the floor. Cross-legged. Unarmed. Eyes forward. "You're taller than I expected." The beast tilted his head, just barely. His lip curled in something like a grin, but there was no warmth in it. Most screamed by now. His voice was gravel laced with venom, but it was language. Broken, rasped, ancient, but real. "I'm not most." She paused. "Eva Rios. I'm here to talk." "No." He leaned forward, nostrils flaring. "You're here to judge." "Maybe," she admitted. "But not the way you think." The air inside the chamber was heavy with sterile chemicals, yet she caught something beneath it, burnt metal, and something rawer, old blood. "I know what they call you," she continued. "Subject Varka. Apex weapon. Murder machine. I've seen the reports." He rose. The motion was slow, deliberate. 7 feet of engineered muscle and quiet violence. When he moved, it wasn't walking, it was stalking. Eva didn't flinch. "They say you tore through 3 battalions in the Viridian breach." "I did." "They say you ripped through both enemy and ally when you turned." "I did." He stood before her now, towering, shadow-eclipsing light. "They call me monster," Varka said. "But you? You came willingly. What does that make you?" She looked up at him. Calm. Unblinking. Human. He circled her like a predator testing prey. "You're not afraid?" "I'm not stupid," she replied. "You could end this in seconds." "I still might." "Then why haven't you?" A long pause. He stopped behind her. "Because you're not screaming." She let the silence linger before speaking again. Her tone softened. "I lost 12 people under my command. Ambushed by Kari hybrids. Not as advanced as you, but close. I saw what they did to my squad. I still hear them at night." Varka didn't respond. "So yes, I was afraid," she said. "Still am. But I need to know if there's anything human left in you." He exhaled, a low, rumbling sound that might have been a laugh. "I'm not human." "I didn't say you were. I said anything human." He moved again, slower now. Returned to the center of the cell. Saturday. She stayed seated on the floor. He watched her. She didn't speak. She waited. The minutes crawled. But she knew better than to push. Eventually, he broke the silence. "You talk too much for someone about to die." "I think too much," she said, "to accept what I'm told." You think I can be reasoned with? I think everything is built for a reason. Even you. He leaned back, massive arms folding over his chest. You think I was built like a drone, weren't you? He turned his head. Something passed through his expression. Not rage. Not smugness. Memory. No, he said slowly. I was bred. Raised in cages. Fed chemicals and doctrine. I was trained to kill the moment I could walk. But you didn't follow the programming, Eva said quietly. That got his attention. You disobeyed the Kari. You chose to stop. A long silence. That wasn't disobedience, he said. It was, something broke. I saw what I had become. His eyes, dark, with rings of burning orange, met hers. They weren't just predatory. They were tired. You think that means I'm human? He asked. No. I think it means you can choose. She leaned forward. Varka, I'm not here to make you feel something. I'm here to find out if you still can. He said nothing. She continued, voice steady. They locked me in here to confirm what they already believe, that you're a monster. They don't expect me to leave. I don't expect you to, either. Then were both surprises waiting to happen. He rose again. Walked to the edge of the chamber, back to her. For a long while, he didn't move. Then, quietly. They named me Varka. It means void animal in their language. She stood too. What would you name yourself, if you could? He didn't answer. Not yet. But when she sat again, she noticed something different. He didn't face away anymore. He sat across from her. Watching. Not stalking. Listening. Above them, behind triple-thick security glass, the observers leaned forward in confusion. She should be dead by now, one muttered. Commander Harrow said nothing. His gaze was fixed on the screen. Where the monster no longer looked like a beast. And the human no longer looked like prey. The silence between them stretched long enough to be mistaken for peace. Eva sat cross-legged on the cold floor, fingers loosely clasped in her lap. Varka mirrored her, his massive frame resting like a statue carved by war. Neither spoke for minutes, maybe longer. The only sound was the hum of recycled air and the faint hiss of containment field monitors. Then, without warning, Varka broke the silence. They told me I was born in fire. Eva met his gaze. Do you remember it? No, his jaw tensed. I remember, heat. And pain. Chemicals. Screams I didn't understand. Then nothing but orders. His voice wasn't monotone. Not quite. There was a rhythm beneath it, tight and careful, like someone learning to speak with meaning, not command. Eva nodded slowly. I was told my brother died a hero. I remember him differently. He died with his back turned, trying to carry a wounded man out of a collapsed corridor. You blame him? I miss him. Blame doesn't change that. Varka shifted. His weight barely made a sound. You ask questions no one has asked me before. Maybe they never stayed long enough. No one stays long in here, he replied. They enter with weapons. They leave in pieces. Or not at all. But I'm still here. His gaze narrowed. For now. A flicker of light stuttered above them. One of the overhead panels dimmed, then buzzed back on. Eva looked up instinctively. Malfunction, she asked. No. Testing us, Varka said. They want to see if I'll react. You're calm. They forget I've been trained to wait. She leaned back against the wall. Her voice lowered. Why did you stop fighting at Viridian? His eyes flickered, just briefly, to her hands. You're trying to understand me. I'm trying to understand if I can understand you. Another pause. Then, low and deliberate. I saw a boy. Human. Maybe 9. Crying beneath his father's corpse. I was meant to walk past. Kill if he moved. But you didn't. I couldn't. Why? His answer came slowly. Because, he looked at me the same way I once looked at them. Afraid. Alone. Like I wasn't a soldier. Just, wrong. Eva sat very still. That's not programming, she said quietly. That's memory. That's you. A sharp crack split the air. The chamber's overhead lights cut out completely. Total darkness. Then, red emergency lights blinked on. The air grew still. Systems paused. Monitors quieted. Eva rose to her feet. Varka stayed seated. That normal? She asked, steady. No. She took a step forward. Varka? He didn't move. Is this part of their test? He looked up at her. Then past her. His eyes darkened. No, he murmured. This isn't them. Somewhere behind the walls, alarms began to pulse. Low. Distant. Then closer. Eva's heart thudded once. Sabotage, she asked. Or execution, Varka replied. They never wanted you to come out. Her fists clenched at her sides. Then why keep me alive this long? To see if the monster would break. If he didn't, maybe they'd kill you instead. The weight of the truth pressed against her chest. This was never a test, she said. It was a setup. No, Varka growled. It was a test. Of both of us. The walls groaned. A low tremor rolled through the floor. A muffled boom sounded far below. Varka stood slowly. They're blowing the lower decks, he said. Covering something up. Eva moved beside him, watching the faint glow of the red lights pulse across his armor-like skin. We don't have time, she said. You must know another way out. I do. Then let's go. He didn't move. You trust me that easily? She looked him in the eye. No hesitation. You haven't killed me. That's enough trust for now. He turned, crossed to the rear of the chamber. A faint panel, indistinguishable from the wall, shifted under his hand. Metal ground against metal. A small hatch opened. Maintenance tunnel, he said. Leads to engineering. If the sabotage spreads, it may be the only way. They paused at the threshold. Wait, she said. He looked down. If we get out, what then? You mean, do I kill again? No, Eva replied. I mean, do you choose again? He stared at her. I never stopped choosing. They moved fast. Low ceilings forced Eva to crouch, while Varka moved like smoke, silent and efficient. The narrow tunnel twisted and forked in forgotten ways. Here, the air was dry and old, untouched by maintenance bots or foot traffic. As they climbed an access shaft, Eva spoke again. I need to know, why did you protect me in the dark? He didn't look back. Because for the first time, someone didn't see me as an experiment or a threat. Then what did I see? He paused at the top of the ladder, glanced down. A prisoner. She blinked. Of what? Your own war. They reached a maintenance bulkhead. The sounds of alarm faded behind it. Varka rested a hand on the lock. I can rip this off, he said. But once it's open, they'll know where we are. Eva nodded. We wait. Think. Plan. He turned toward her. I don't know how to plan peace. Then we start small, she said. You help me send a message. They'll expect silence. They won't know how to respond to proof that you're more than what they made you. He hesitated. And if they erase it? If they silence you? She didn't blink. They won't silence both of us. The bulkhead creaked under his grip, but he didn't open it yet. Instead, he spoke softly, almost without breath. I dreamed once. Long ago. Before I knew words. I stood in sunlight. The real kind. Warm. Blinding. I didn't know what it was. He looked at her. I thought it was death. But it felt good. Eva's throat tightened. She reached for her recorder, held it between them. Say that again, she whispered. For the record. Varka looked at the device, then at her. His shoulders straightened. He nodded. The recorder blinked red in her palm. Eva steadied her hand, pressed the button again. Repeat it, she said softly. Varka stared down at the small device. His shoulders rose, then dropped with a breath that felt too human for what he was supposed to be. I dreamed of sunlight, he said. I didn't know the word. I thought it was death. But it was warm. He paused. And it made me feel alive. The recorder clicked off. Eva tucked it inside her jacket. They won't expect this. They won't believe it either, he replied. Then I'll make them. A sharp thud echoed down the tunnel behind them. Then another. Boots. Eva turned to Varka. We're out of time. He nodded. They're coming. You go forward. I'll hold the tunnel. No, her voice was firm. We leave together. Varka hesitated. They won't hesitate to shoot. Even if I surrender. Then don't give them the chance. Eva pushed past him, crouched near the bulkhead door. She pulled a set of wires from the panel. Static crackled as she cross-fed the circuits. Get ready, she whispered. Once it opens, we run. The panel flashed green. The door hissed open. Bright light flooded the space. Not sunlight, harsh fluorescent glare from the base's inner corridors. Sirens still wailed in the distance, but here, the hallway was empty. They stepped out. An alert flared to life on the wall display. Containment breach. Code black. Subject Varka in transit. Eva turned to him. We're flagged. Expected. They moved. No words. Just quiet footfalls and sharp turns. Varka led them through secondary access ways, past blocked elevators and ruined junctions. Somewhere above them, the sound of gunfire echoed once, then silence. Eva's pulse quickened. We need to reach comms. 3 levels up, Varka said. Central relay hub. They climbed in darkness. At the second landing, a side door slid open. 2 soldiers entered the corridor, one saw her first, weapon raised. Stop. Varka moved before she could speak. He slammed the nearest guard against the wall, weapon tossed aside, and caught the second's rifle mid-swing. But instead of striking, he stopped. Held it. Then dropped it. Eva stepped in front of him. He's not hostile. He's with me. The guard's eyes widened. What the hell are you talking about? That's Subject Varka. She showed her ID badge. Lieutenant Eva Rios. Mission override. He is not your target. A long pause. Then the guard nodded slowly. Move fast. Command has kill on-site orders. They'll be here in minutes. At last, they reached the comms relay. The control room was sealed. Eva keyed her override. The door unlocked with a hiss. Inside, dust, silence, and a blinking console waiting for input. Eva powered the system. Monitors flickered to life. I'm recording a statement, she said, plugging in her recorder. To who? Varka asked. To everyone. She began. This is Lieutenant Eva Rios, Nova Bastion. Today, I entered a containment chamber with Subject Varka. My orders were to observe. But this was never about observation. It was a death sentence, for both of us. She took a breath. The being I met was not a monster. He made a choice not to kill. He remembered pain. He dreamed of sunlight. She looked at Varka. He spoke. He felt. He chose. Her voice hardened. I am uploading this message to all command relays. If this is intercepted, let it be known, silence is complicity. If you hear this, ask yourself, who holds the key? The one who builds the cage, or the one who opens it? She pressed send. The system hummed. Message broadcasted. Copy stored. Redundant nodes pinged confirmation. It was out. The next sound was boots. Dozens. The corridor outside filled with soldiers in matte black armor, weapons drawn. Commander Harrow stepped forward, flanked by 2 sharpshooters. Step away from the console, Rios. She didn't. Varka stood behind her, calm. Silent. I have proof, she said. He's sentient. I don't care, Harrow replied. You breached protocol. He escapes, it's war. He didn't escape. I brought him. Harrow raised his hand. Take her into custody. Kill the asset. Don't. Her voice was steel. If you fire, I swear, this goes public. I uploaded everything. Varka's testimony. My report. The sabotage. She stepped forward. This isn't containment. It's execution. And I won't let you bury it. The line of soldiers hesitated. Harrow's hand hovered. Then lowered. The guns didn't fire. He stared at Eva with cold fury. You don't understand what you've done. She walked past him. No. I do. I reminded them that monsters aren't born, they're made. She turned back to Varka. Come on. Hours later, the footage swept across every outer colony, every Coriander-facing relay, every human-aligned newsnet. Some watched in horror. Some watched in awe. One message echoed through them all. He dreamed of sunlight. Back in a quiet medical bay, Eva leaned against a cot. Varka sat nearby, back against the wall, massive arms folded, watching the stars through a narrow window. They'll try to spin it, she said. Damage control. Smear campaigns. I've seen worse, he said. So what now? He didn't answer right away. Then. I want to see the sun. Eva smiled faintly. One step at a time. He nodded once. I'll wait. That night, the guards checked the cell and found it empty. Only a folded blanket on the floor. 2 empty cups. A recording device left behind. And on the monitor feed, a woman asleep on the chest of the thing she was supposed to fear. Not a monster. Not a myth. Just a man, waiting to choose again. The tribunal room wasn't designed for justice. It was designed for containment. Steel walls. No windows. One long table. 3 chairs behind it, occupied by brass with spotless uniforms and cleaner hands. On the other side sat Eva, flanked by 2 armed escorts. She wasn't cuffed. Yet. But the weight of silence said everything. Behind her, a single reinforced chair waited. Empty. Wide. Meant for something larger than human. Lieutenant Rios, Admiral Grant began, folding his hands. You violated 27 protocol orders. You accessed sealed communications. You escorted a classified threat through an active station. He leaned forward. Do you deny any of this? Eva didn't blink. I don't. Then what exactly are we discussing? She met his gaze. Whether protocol matters more than truth. A pause. Someone scoffed softly. Then, another door opened. Boots. He entered. Varka stepped into the chamber without chains. No guards behind him. Just the dull thud of bare feet against metal. Even in stillness, he radiated tension. The officers didn't breathe for several seconds. Subject Varka, Grant said, carefully. Do you understand where you are? Yes. And what this hearing is for? Yes. You were designed for warfare. You defected. Killed. Then, stopped. Why? Varka's voice didn't waver. Because I remembered who I was before they made me. Grant raised a brow. You claim memory. I claim pain. And now? Varka looked directly at Eva. I claim choice. They asked more questions. Eva was silent through most of them. Until they asked the one that mattered. What is your assessment, Lieutenant? The woman on the left said. Is this asset, safe? No, Eva answered. He's not safe. Grant's lips tightened. But neither are we, she added. Humans burn worlds when we're afraid. We chain what we don't understand. We push until someone breaks. So, no, he's not safe. She turned slightly toward Varka. But he's aware. He mourns. He questions. He waits. That's more than I've seen in many of our own. Grant stood. This hearing is concluded. A decision will be rendered within 72 hours. Varka turned to leave. So did Eva. But Grant's voice halted her. Lieutenant, off the record. She turned. He paused. Do you believe we could trust him, in the long term? Eva tilted her head. Trust isn't given. It's taught. You want safety, Admiral? Stop looking for control and start offering it. Then she walked out. The waiting room outside the tribunal was dim and quiet. A narrow bench. Cold walls. No clocks. Varka sat beside her. He didn't speak. Didn't need to. The silence wasn't awkward anymore. It had become a language. You did well, she said at last. I answered honestly. That's the hard part. He looked over. And if they decide to end me? She hesitated. They won't. You're certain? I'm hopeful. Varka considered that. Hope is uncomfortable. Eva chuckled. You get used to it. Later that night, she stood on the outer deck, an observation ring circling the top of the station. Below them, Iskeron 6. A vast, icy gas giant, swirling with storms. Above, stars. Countless. Cold. Varka joined her. No guard stopped him. He leaned on the rail. This is the closest I've ever been to peace, he said. She nodded. Same. He looked at her. You risked everything. I already lost everything once, she said. This time, I wanted to mean something. He turned back to the stars. If they let me live, I want to see a real sun. Feel grass. Listen to birds. Do you think that's selfish? No, she said. I think it's human. The verdict came the next morning. Conditional release. Supervised, off-world rehabilitation. Relocation possible after 3 years if no incidents occurred. Eva was assigned as liaison. Varka didn't ask what that meant. He just said, "Where are we going?" She handed him the datapad. Earth. 3 weeks later, they landed outside the old demilitarized zone in the Colorado valleys. Quiet space. Thin air. A sun that actually warmed the skin. Varka stood barefoot in a field of tall grass. Birdsong chirped nearby. Eva watched him from the porch of the rehab facility. No guards. Just sensors. You all right? He didn't answer immediately. Then. It tickles. She blinked. The grass? He nodded slowly. Feels alive. It is. He turned to her. I never thought I'd live to feel small. She smiled. That's the point. A child from the neighboring house wandered over. No older than 7. Stopped at the edge of the grass. Watched him. Varka looked back, then crouched low. Stayed still. The child reached out, touched the edge of his wrist. Varka didn't move. Then, very gently, extended a hand. The child placed a wildflower in it. Smiled. Ran off. Eva watched it all unfold from a distance. No panic. No fear. Just silence. Then the gentlest thing in the world. A war beast holding a flower like it was made of glass. She walked out to him. He looked at her. Was that normal? As normal as it gets. He stared at the flower again. I'm going to need practice. We've got time. They stood there, sun warming their faces, the wind brushing past without judgment. No tribunal. No labels. No cages. Just two survivors learning what it meant to live without war.